almost every decision that we make between my co-founder and I involves some use of our data app. We don't make any decisions without consulting what is in here first. My name is Spencer Baucke. I'm the co-founder of Maverick Data. Maverick Data is an analytics and data engineering consulting services firm. We normally help other people solve their data problems, but we had our own data problems. As a startup, we were pulling from all different types of sources, manual processes, different data applications, just really trying to piece things together. We didn't have a cohesive strategy. We are, in this, a small business, so we're more in a reactive phase. But we decided that taking a proactive approach to solving some of our operational inefficiencies would pay off long term. So doing a lot of work for our clients in Sigma, we really, we realized that building out a lot of these processes in Sigma would make our lives a lot easier. And so we decided to devote a couple weeks of internal work to solve some of these problems. Limitation-wise, it's just a lot of manual work, a lot of manual effort. And I think even more so than limitations of the tools, right, is the idea that we were having to go to 3, 4, 5 different applications to get a picture of what was going on in our company. And that was the biggest issue, is the lack of integration between all of them, between our time entry system, accounting, invoicing, CRM, right? They were all disparate systems. And so having one place to go and interact with all that data was really what drove us to choose Sigma to develop these solutions. Our data app has a variety of functions. It contains data and reporting on pretty much every aspect of our company. Our data app includes time entry. And so, us being a consulting services firm, we have to go and enter time for our clients. So being able to provide a place for our team members to go and enter time on their projects and then track that time so that they can either report to their client how much budget they've burned, and also for us to understand how much future revenue that we're accruing was a big help. Also, in the same app, we manage our clients, our project, pipeline, so our CRM, so we can understand not only how much time are we billing, but we can also understand how much future revenue that we are predicting based upon our sales pipeline. So taking that combined with time entry, we then pull in all of our banking data. So we have all of our transactions, so we can see our receipts, we can see our expenses. We're able to put together financial projections on our company. And so we can go to one place and see all of that in one spot instead of having to go to 4 different websites, extract data, put it into Excel, get a financial projection. Using Sigma, we're able to see all of that information in one place. And then using some of the cool functionality of Sigma, we're able to go in and edit different parts of the financial projections. If there's some sort of manual updates needed, we're able to go and do that. Input tables, right? I mean, that was the number one factor. It's so easy. We did explore building it like any company going through kind of a thought process on how to build out a solution. We tried a couple different solutions first, and we just found that Sigma was just so easy, so streamlined, and not just the ease of use, but the actual capabilities were better than other solutions available on the market. And so for me to go and spend 1 or 2 days being able to stand up this entire data application to run our business, it just shows that going from nothing to a working solution is extremely easy in Sigma. And so that was our that was one of our reasons. Just another note on that, input tables, they're so necessary in today's ecosystem, right? As we transitioned from traditional BI and just static data consumption to dynamic data consumption. And so because Sigma is geared towards that, it was kind of a no-brainer. We have the classic BI reporting, dashboarding capabilities. Combine that with some of the dynamic input capabilities of Sigma. It really was it was an easy choice. We approached it very much like we approach our clients, right? Oftentimes our clients ask us to come and solve one particular issue, but it almost never ends with that one particular issue. It turns into a backlog of items, right? So we came in wanting to create a time entry form. Well, once we completed the time entry form, we realized, okay, well, if we have time entry, we want a way to now send this invoice to our client. Now, once we had time entry and invoices, then we wanted to tie in banking transactions so that we can understand what's our balance and what maybe our future bank balance was going to be, right? And so then that kind of set us down the road of financial projections. And then once we had financial projections, we realized, oh, okay, well, now we want to know on the projects that are engaged and the revenue we could receive from that, what's our revenue yet to be sold, which is our CRM and our sales pipeline. So that happens so often at our clients where we achieve success and add value in one use case that just creates a demand for data and a demand for more data products. And so the same was true with our internal process. This is a replica, anonymized replica of the data app that we've built internally at Maverick Data. This first page is an admin tab. We realized that we needed a way to manage, what employees or team members that we have, what clients we're working with, what projects that we have sold and are working on, and then who staffs those projects. These input tables are really the backbone of the rest of the data application. Now we've set this visibility so that only admins, myself and my co-founder, are able to go and edit this data to make sure that we are not having people come in and enter projects that shouldn't be there. So let me show you how we're able to do that. We do like to build forms to be able to submit this data. We've found that by just editing rows, depending on the view, sometimes there's columns that are either hidden or not filled out properly. So we really do like to build these forms to make sure that people are putting in all of the fields that we need them to put in, and then putting which fields are required in here to make sure that we're gathering all of that. If we were to hire a new person, we would go in here and we would complete this person's entry into our employees table. If we were to add a new client, and we'll just put a new client in here, we'll put Sigma as our new client, and we'll just say 123 Main Street, and then we'll say test, and then we go and submit. Now we have this client in our client table. Let's go and add a new project. We'll say Sigma demo video. We're able to go in, and now we see Sigma as a client that we can enter this project in for. Now that we've entered the project, the staffing, now we can move to inputting time. Anytime that we go and perform a service for our clients, we go and input our time that we're going to invoice them. We click input time, and because of row level security, I'm only allowed to put in time for myself. So I'm not entering time for any other employee. I'm going to choose myself. I'm going to choose what date, and then I'm going to go and choose my client. And now we can see Sigma is in here, the client that we just added to our clients table. Now we go and choose a project, and we can see there's only one project available for Sigma. So we've been able to filter down those options for this control to just the projects that apply to that client. Now I'm going to go and enter my time billed, and I'm going to enter some notes, and I'm just going to name it demo video. I'm going to submit that time. Now you can see that this time goes into this input table. And down below, what we've done is we've taken all of our historical data for billing, and then we've appended the new input table to our historical billing stored in our data warehouse. Then we create a union of those two data sets, and we have all of our time builds. That is our historical build, and then our build for this month. At the end of each month, we go and we take the data in the input table in our data warehouse, and then we take that data and we append it to the historical build data table. Then that data that we have for our billing then goes into our invoice creation. So now we go to our invoice tab and we're able to see all of the time, PO number, client information for all of our clients in our different projects for different months. And so what we're able to do with this is either take and export this as a PDF and then send it to the appropriate email, which is also listed in our client information on the invoice, or you can go and automate this via scheduled PDF emails. So instead of going through our first iteration of invoicing, which was tracking things in Google Sheets and then printing to PDF, sending emails, now we can go and make sure that all of our data is being collected via our time entry input table. And then we're able to automatically create these invoices. Then once we've created these invoices, we're able to go and see all of our historical data around who is billed for what client and different insights, how we're doing month to date, how we're doing for this week compared to last week in terms of revenue generated. And so all in all, we use a lot of these different views on a daily basis, whether it's sending automated emails to our employees of their time billed for the current week on a Friday afternoon to make sure that they've input all their time. And then we also send automated emails on Monday. We send them a snapshot of their time billed from the previous week to make sure, hey, did you enter all your time? Is this good? Those emails get sent to our admins as well, so we can review who is invoiced what or who is billed what time for our clients, just to keep a pulse on the company performance. Ultimately, we've created a one-stop shop for almost every aspect of our business, and we use these data applications every single day. First and foremost, we canceled subscriptions for numerous people for 4 to 5 different data applications that we were paying for. So immediately a cost savings to our company. A secondary effect is just more visibility. Our stand-up meetings with me and my co-founder go so much more smoothly. We literally just pull up our data application and we're able to go down every single tab and discuss in detail and with real-time data the state of our business. Between us saving money on the actual data application subscriptions that we canceled and the ability to have far more productive meetings with my co-founder and understand where we are as a business, your real-time financial projections, it's just been a tremendous improvement operationally in how we operate as a business. A couple of ways it's impacted our business is now almost every decision that we make between my co-founder and I involves some use of our data app, right? We don't make any decisions without consulting what is in here first. Secondly, it's also spawned ideas from not just my co-founder, but other members of our team on different applications, both for internal use as well as for our clients. So the things that we've built in Sigma have actually inspired our consultants to go and bring up these sort of ideas with our existing clients to say, hey, we experienced something similar internal and we built this solution. And so then they're able to go and take this product and go and implement it at some of our clients. the capabilities specifically in Sigma are extremely powerful, and they're extremely easy to use. That is mostly a good thing. It's an amazing thing. But there's also the flip side of it, is making sure that there's proper governance and controls in place so that things don't get out of hand and, duplicative work, duplicative applications. So just maintaining good governance and security over who uses the app for what use cases. But also my advice is stretch Sigma to its limits in creating data applications. It's done things for our clients and for us internally that, at first we're like, I don't think Sigma can do this, but we found a way to make it work with Sigma. There's just so many applications of this tool that I think don't sell yourself short in terms of what you want to build. It might take some twists and turns in terms of finding out how to develop the solution, but you can probably do it. What excites me most is that Sigma is aligned with how people are going to use data in the future, right? Or really how people are using data now. It's just that the industry, the BI and data industry is really catching up to how people use data. Right? If you think about like all the apps on your phone, you're always inputting data, right? There's almost never a situation where you're just consuming data unless you're like reading the news or something. But people nowadays are used to dynamic data consumption. They want to input something and get an output as a result. And Sigma is aligned to that vision. And so that's what excites me, is like that is the direction. And it's the right one to go in. That's how things are. That's where, things are moving. And so, seeing that Sigma is investing so much in that roadmap is really exciting for both users and people who, service clients that use Sigma, like Maverick Data.